Okay. Hello and welcome to. I'm going to start this over. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap. Oh, I can hear me. Okay, I know it worked. I'm going to send out the blue sky and the tweet. Did that even work? Oh, it did work. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. Hello to Nathaniel Foga, Cornbread, Javier Portello, Ramsey the Artist, Purple Goop, Nathaniel Foga. I saw Super Adusky up there as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. On a night like tonight, I guess. Jim, you are much needed. Oh, yeah. Hi, JJ Panda. All right, let's just start this thing. Thank you for having me here. Let me just switch over. Hello, I'm in the bedroom this time. This is my bedroom. Anyway, all right, let me move this over so you can see the chat. Austin's here. So sorry, Austin. I don't know if anyone's done this before. If it doesn't happen a lot. He gave me a super chat before the show. Because, and let's just do this, let's just start off the show with this. There's much been talk about the Ghost Welch Grape drink, and I got it. I searched for a long time. I want to bring this is not me being, hello K-Master, by the way. This is not me being difficult. I really couldn't find it anyway. So, it was just at my store, and they had a ton of them, randomly. And, actually, funny story, when I bought it, the checkout lady, took it away from the groceries, and I was like, what? No, what's wrong? She was like, what? No, I just have to price check this. See, don't worry. I'll just give you a second. Anyway, let's try this out, because for the first super chat of the night, came in early tonight from Austin, said, victory for the Grape Ghost Gang. I hope you like it. Well, we are about to see here. Okay, let me make sure. Hold on. Get my... Did you hear that? Okay, let's try it out. That is very grape. I'm into it. Cheers, Joe. I'll take another swig just to wake myself up. It's good. All right. Want me to have more? Obviously, you know how it works. Super chat. So we'll talk about that later. So despite the thumbnail, and obviously it's been a rough week, I will talk about the election after the small talk. I think this is mostly a way for y'all to avoid that. But I don't, hello Jordan Slevo, I don't want to avoid it and feelings about it and all that. So that'll be the first sort of segment. I am going to do the chapter tag things, super whatever it is. I will timestamps. I will do the timestamps tonight. So if you are like, I do not want to hello Chad Docs More Movies and Pop. I do not want to watch that segment. If you're watching live, I guess I'm sorry. But for everyone else who watches later, you can skip over that segment. If you're like, I don't agree with you, or I just don't want to watch that, you can skip over it. So, okay, it's been a lot has happened since last time, and I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about that stuff, because that's at least more fun. I went to New Orleans again, mainly because we had Taylor Swift tickets. My daughter is a huge Taylor Swift fan. I like Taylor Swift, and we had a good time. I'll just say it was a really cool experience. I saw the Eras Tour at the Superdome in New Orleans. I've not been to a big stadium show. I saw the Rolling Stones in the 90s. My parents took me to that, and that was not, I would say, a pop concert. That's a rock concert. This is a pop show. And it was crazy, but I wore my Mystery Science Theater shirt not to be alternative or something. Just to, it's like I don't like to wear the shirt of the band. And literally, I've been to cons. I've seen fandoms before. Holy shit! I was the only person not wearing. So, and I did wear the friendship bracelets and all that, but like everybody wore a shirt for her. Just wow. If you ever think any fandom is like always ready or all that shit, yeah, they are the most they are the absolute most craziest. Yeah, it was pretty insane. I wish I'd done like glitter in the beard though. That's my only regret. Daughter had a good time. The only thing the main takeaway I will say is that I think she had this because first of all we were pretty high up. I did not know where Taylor Swift was most of the time. I was watching the screens, but what was on the screen, the big screen there, was better than that movie she put out because they do the thing. I don't know how many people are familiar with the movie Woodstock, but in the movie Woodstock they'd have like 3 images playing at once, and it's really well edited. Like even if you don't like that movie music, go see the Woodstock movie. The editing is fantastic, even by today's standards. There's a lot going on, and when you look at when I was looking at that, I was like, I like that more than the Eras Tour movie. I hope she puts out so many different stupid editions, and that's not something I quite like about her. But if she was going to put out another version of the movie, I would like honestly say the thing on the screen was far more interesting, and they did a really good job with that. And there was one part where that song Bad Blood, and she shoots out fire, and I could feel the heat of the flames, and we were pretty far away from it. So it was an intense, crazy experience. My wife got me a hoodie because everyone else is getting a shirt. So I have a hoodie of it. But my main takeaway, I guess, is I ended up liking the acoustic albums more, after the show, even though I had to get my daughter cotton candy to keep her awake because it's such a long show and everyone was going to the bathroom. But that made me more curious. So anyway, she's a good artist and all. I know that's maybe not everybody's thing here or anything, but it was cool. I was cool to be like the dad and all that stuff. But I do enjoy her. I don't know her as well as all the other people there, but I have listened to Evermore. And I think that's a very solid record, even if you don't like it. Okay, hold on. We've got like 2... like, Sidram. Hey, Remiku Harakushine. Alright, hold on. We have super chats, and then I'll talk about the rest of New Orleans. Sorry to talk about the Eras Tour. It was quite the concert. It's quite the event. It's a lot to look at. Okay. Hold on. Paul Blart should have been... Okay, hold on. Also, Austin, thank you for doing that. I was thinking of doing something. I wasn't sure if I should just let them go or whatever. Obviously, they're gone. I get it. Okay. Paul Blart should have been in the Eras Tour. Paul Blart should have been in the Eras Tour movie, but Austin, seriously, thank you. Austin does a great job for this audience, I really gotta say, by the way. Paul Blart should have been in the Eras Tour movie. I 100% agree with that. I think I wouldn't mind a Paul Blart. Kevin James... I miss those YouTube videos. When's that coming back? Remember the one where the guy almost waves at him? I think about that joke every day. That's a funny skit. Anyway, cheers to you, Black Sea Axel Michael. Cheers to you. This reminds me of an episode from The Bear. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Nathaniel Foga. Yes, that is a good episode. I mean, I don't know. I object to her pop star dominance and her releasing different versions, actually. But I think as an artist, she writes good songs. And Evermore was nice when I had to deal with like a ton of Home Depot stuff this weekend. I was just walking around listening to Evermore, and I was like, this is a good record. I hope she does more stuff. Anyway, whatever. It was fun. My daughter had fun. We had fun. It's a good time. Anyway, cheers to you, Nathaniel Fogo. Also, if you have not seen, yes, I'm in my room. Sorry, I'm not saying it right. Um, uh, um, yeah, if you haven't seen the Woodstock movie, I highly recommend it. I think Scorsese helped edit it a little bit, but seriously, the editing is really good. Even if you're not a fan of music, I really recommend it. I've noticed that because when I brought it up to people since I saw that concert, a lot of people haven't seen that movie, and I was surprised by that actually. Um, what were we gonna do? Okay, sorry. Also, I did some cool things in New Orleans that were not that. I got to go to this insect, not Woodstock. uh, I got to go to this sort of insect music because I thought we were going to the aquarium. And there's this insect zoo thing. It was weird, but we went. But actually, had Mr. Bug Goes to Town merchandise, or I think they have Hobbity Goes to Town merchandise as well. But I got it. That was awesome. It's a cool museum actually, next to the aquarium, and the aquarium is really great. Also, before no one could tell me anything about it, so I was like, wait, so what's special about it? Like, I don't know. I never like that when everyone knows something and I don't. I'm like, could you just tell me like what's going on? And no one will say just wait. They're just like, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, now I'm worried. But the bug thing was cool, and it had Fleischer Brothers merch, which you don't see a lot. As well as I went to so I think I mentioned this before. There's this video store in New Orleans, and I follow them on Instagram. I forgot how I heard about them, but this is my little. I don't have that many props. Don't worry. Where is it? Oh, maybe. This video store called Future Shock Video. Chantox Memories. I don't have a PO box. I actually, but thank you. You can keep those. It's okay. I barely have room for anything, so sorry. Is this good for sound? Is this good for sound? I thought this would be easier, and it's not turning out that way. Okay, so I saw that there's this video store in New Orleans. They rent out VHS and DVD, and I'd sort of become a little obsessed with it, and I thought it was really cool. And I knew I was going to New Orleans, I was going to go there. And I got to go there. I met the girl who runs it. She does an amazing job. It's really, really cool. I shot footage. I really want to do a short about it and talk about it a little bit. But I got to talk to her. She was a lot of fun. It was like, I was like, damn it, I want to stay here and like be friends with you and stuff. This is like awesome. Like, I'm not even joking. But I want to show, hold on. This is the logo, Future Shock Video. I will tweet out and Blue Sky out and all that stuff. The Instagram. It's really cool. If you're in New Orleans, it's sort of in like a kind of a store. I guess it's like sort of like a thrift store sort of thing. And there's multiple vendors and stuff. But she does a great job, and it has a #1 band in the world, Josie and the Pussycats banner that they made up. I really like it, and she was legitimately a cool person. So if you're in New Orleans, I highly recommend this. And I was like honestly jealous, and even though she was like, but you have Kim's video in Alamo Draft House, and I was like, yeah, but this is pretty cool. She like designed the sign. It's like really, really cool. I will post the link in the Discord tomorrow, and I will put out a tweet again. Anyway, and I think last time I got an indie comic from New Orleans because I thought that's a cool way when you're vacationing is get an indie comic from that area because you can only get it anywhere. And I don't know if this is an indie comic from because it takes place in New Jersey and not New Orleans. And I didn't know that, but it's a good issue of a guy who like has, I guess, schizophrenia or some kind of issues, and he keeps thinking he's fighting everyone he sees as enemies robots and fighting robots even though they're just regular people and stuff. It's a really good comic. It's like this could be a short film called The Black Hat. I couldn't find this guy on like anything, and I really need to Google it again because I would actually read another issue because it's a cool idea. But this is like, if this is all there is of this, I really like it. But I like getting random indie comics on here. This was a fucking good one. So, anyway, all right. Is that all the new. Oh, and I put up multiple, stickers around Future Shock Video, around a movie theater in New Orleans, around other 2 comic book stores, Crescent City Comics, which I went to last time I talked about before, and More Fun Comics. If you see those, and flyers around there too. So if you see those around, you can, in New Orleans, scan the QR code and be like, oh my God, this channel's amazing. You have to too. Or just, you can take a picture and send it to me that too. But I don't have that many stickers left, and I wanted to put them up there because people in New Orleans, I get more comments than New York, where there's like so much advertising and all that stuff. So anyway, sorry if that was like a little long. Also, despite I really shouldn't have put anything up about America. I almost didn't do what the fuck America thing. I should have done Scavenger Train, but there wasn't as good of a thumbnail. Anyway, whatever. What was I gonna say? Now I forget. I'm on Blue Sky. Sorry, I'm on Blue Sky. That I didn't put it in the description. Now that I think about it, but if you're watching this later, hopefully I will, and I'll have a community post later. I guess later. This weekend or something, so you can check that out. If you're on Blue Sky, I think I'm gonna leave Twitter because other than I have to do some promotion there, I have too many followers, and I'm an independent creator. Obviously, I need the money and stuff and the views and all those things. So I kind of can't just abandon something like that fully. But I think it'll just turn into mainly promotional. I might tweet out a few times. It does seem like you can get an audience back on Blue Sky, but it's not a thing you can do overnight. So I'm just going to keep working on it. So if you are on Blue Sky or if you ever consider it, I do think it's a lot better. It just like we need more people on it and stuff. And there's some things about it that I think people aren't really doing. There's a forum. Okay, Ramakrishna Shrine. Tell me what that forum is, and I would love to. Thank you for telling me about that. I'm just sort of kind of going on to stuff like that. Also, I guess this is like a side thing because it's in the Discord, but in the Discord in Artist Self Promo, I asked, if you have a friend who's on Blue Sky, if you are on Blue Sky, if there's someone you like who's on Blue Sky, anything like that, put that in Artist Self Promo. I'm sorry I've taken over that channel a little bit with that. But you can do that there. All right. And I put out a lot of videos while I was in New Orleans. It was mainly because of the packing for New Orleans. I got delayed on working on some videos that were obviously Halloween stuff. And then at the same time, I knew this week there was this, I knew I wasn't going to post something on Tuesday, and I was open to the idea that Wednesday, Thank you, Ramakrishna. I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow, but I will remember that. So that's why there was suddenly like I was prepping you for all these compilations, and it sort of did happen and didn't happen. But that was because I sort of knew this week there might not be as many postings. I think there'll be something tomorrow, but we'll see. I didn't know there was a browser extension. See, I'm just new to this. Oh, you sent me. I did not see that yet. I haven't really gone through the Blue Sky thing because I noticed on my phone when I hit the links, it doesn't just go to it. Anyway, I need to figure it out, basically. I really haven't had the time to go through it. Anyway, throwbacks this week, but other than reviews, check out the Treehouse of Horror, the Mouse House, the Mouse Trap, whatever the fuck it was, and all the other stuff. I am doing more with the compilations, but not. I think there'll only be 2 this next month, and then the next month there might be a few more. But I sort of learned a bit from doing that. But people seem to like them, and the Sam Raimi one is the biggest one I've ever done of the compilation, so that's kind of neat. Since I spend the least amount of time on that one, and I have no clue why that doesn't just go to shorts when YouTube is like 3-minute to 5-minute shorts now. Everything that's a short that's over a minute, it just puts as a video. So, I don't understand. I thought that video would be in the shorts, but it wasn't. So I don't get why it does that. I don't know. I don't have the time to look into it. Okay, before I get throwback, sorry, I was in a Mr. Coat video. It's really cool because he does a lot of kind of interesting stuff about like studios that don't exist anymore, or like certain eras of films that we don't talk about enough. He really has a good channel, and I was a part of the Mr. Code Trios of Horror, best Trios of Horror segments. If you want to check that out, what else? Oh, throwbacks. This week at least, I had Over the Garden Wall on Monday. I know that feels like 20 years ago because of the 10th anniversary of Over the Garden Wall. I posted my Incredibles review because it's been 20 years since The Incredibles. I know I said this otherwise, but I'll repeat this story because it's funny. Oh, thank you. That is really helpful, Cornbread. And other people, if you want to do that too. I'm assuming you post that somewhere, but if not, I will post. Anyway, that sounds really great. Thank you, Cornbread. If you didn't know, so in the 2004 election, it was like 2004 election on, I guess it's usually Tuesday, and then The Incredibles came out that Friday, and so by the time I had this class that was on a Monday, we were going to talk about the election because it was about newspaper and media criticism and stuff. And Ace says, all right, guys, it's finally time to talk about, and I go, The Incredibles. Let's talk about The Incredibles. And everyone was like game, and the teacher like let it happen, and he just looked at me like, how the fuck did you just do that? Like, he was like, and later he was like, I've been waiting all week to do this discussion, and I just let you do that. Why did I let you do that? But yeah, and we talked about The Incredibles for like 15 minutes or something. Because they did. I've always been proud of that, but the 2004 election was kind of bullshit. So, I got everyone. The 2004 election. Oh boy! Even though I knew it was going to go that way with Bush, 2004 election. Sorry, it was just Bush and Kerry, and that was. But I posted that one. I like that review, and then I did post this. I'm posting this one extra because it's Godzilla, the 70th anniversary of the first Godzilla film, or Gojira. I did a review of that about 10 years ago. That review was kind of a big deal for me because my mom lived in Japanese occupied Japan, or American. No, that doesn't make any sense. American occupied Japan when she was like just born. And my grandmother lived there, and her like that. My mom's side of the family, and actually my grandmother, who lived there and talked about it a lot, ended up seeing the original cut a couple of years before she died, and she thought it was like so fascinating and interesting. And she knew like the first part of Gojira is directly referencing a thing that sort of ended the American occupation when they were doing nuclear testing off, like sort of off the waters of Japan. It hit a fishing boat, which is like the fishing boat in the original film. So anyway, my grandmother, who was a big film lover, really found that film interesting, and I got to sort of research that film pretty extensively to make that video, and learned about Japanese American occupied Japan and a lot of stuff like that. And I got to talk. So it's kind of like I really wanted to repost, and I know that I'm very late for that anniversary, but it was sort of like I do sort of want to share it. I am very proud of that video. Even though it's 10 years old. So check that out if you haven't. But my grandmother said basically after she saw it, was like, I mean, they're, she was like, they're not wrong. They're definitely right. She found it very fascinating. And my grandfather did too. They were like very taken aback. And I remember them both saying like they should have put this out in the 50s instead of what they did. But John Kerry was not a good candidate. I'll put it this way about John Kerry is I was watching him on the Daily Show with Ian, you know the one, the Ian, and it was like August, and we were watching him being interviewed, and midway through we both looked at each other and went, he's gonna lose. like we knew. We like everybody was like, no, it could be, and there'd be weeks we'd be like, maybe, and then we'd look at each other and go, he's gonna lose. Like it was just like, so he was such a bad choice. It was like he's literally I still am pissed off about Kerry. They probably should have had Hillary run in 2004. I 100% think that was one of I don't think she wanted to then, but I think wow, that was like one of the worst presidential candidates of my fucking life was John Kerry. Like, I don't care your take on anything. He's such a bad Uh, such a bad choice. Just, it's not that I disagree with his politics. He was just like, you could tell he was not going to be good as a president, and you knew he wasn't going to win. It was just like fucking pathetic. I'm still mad about that one. I know, and I don't think anyone is except me, but whatever. All right, so I think we've done everything. This is a while. Sorry, I knew this was going to be a while. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans. Either through super chats, where I will drink the amazing Ghost Welch's grape that was finally discovered, or through my Patreon, where you get all sorts of cool stuff like postcards, which I'm hoping to deal with this week, as well as my commentary series, which is exclusive to the Patreon. Other stuff is the only way you can watch my public access show movie stuff is through my Patreon, which if you would like a link to, please let me know. And it helps me be able to continue to make flyers, stickers, promote, be in screenings, film festivals, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you like my channel, like what I'm doing, and want me to continue to do so, it's a great place to do that. Or, I don't know what someone's doing over there, or during the super chat as well, if you're financially, of course, able to do so. If not, just liking this video, subscribing is good too. But if you're just watching, and that's as much as you can really do, and don't even have to log into YouTube or anything, thank you for being here. I still very much appreciate it. As well as we have the Discord, which has all sorts of cool stuff going on. General, where I post every week about what do you want me to talk about. Although there's like a ton of stuff to talk about, and I don't think I could. Normally, I'd go through more of it, but I just had a packed show. I don't know what's going on out there, but the computer people, oh well, have all sorts of cool stuff in there, as well as the artist self promo, where I'm sort of doing a Blue Sky thing presently. There's a movie discussions, there's movie watches. I don't know what they're doing this week. I do try to do a daily question, and all sorts of stuff. Lego movie this Saturday. They're watching the Lego movie. So if you want to watch the Lego movie, but if you like everybody here in the chat, they're there in that community. You can join it anytime you want, and click thumbs up. Thank you, Cinram, for saying that. Don't forget to click thumbs up on the live stream. It definitely helps. And I think that's everything, as well as I have a Twitter, Blue Sky, which is now where I'm going to be more active, because it's not owned by anybody who helped a fascist get elected. To my understanding, I do want to sort of look up the deal with the Blue Sky owners. I was like, yeah, but I'm acting like this is all good, and like, I don't know. I think one of them was into crypto. I need to figure that out. But, yeah. Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, it's all on there. Blue Sky isn't, but I'll figure it. Maybe it'll be when you watch this later and all that. So, you know what? I thought Howard Dean was good, and now in retrospect he wasn't. So he did sort of ruin. Anyway. So the election. There is no real good way to talk about it. Wow. It was really disheartening. I think in a lot of ways, I think there's no way to talk about this it's just fucking depressing. There's just like no way to go about it. And I think, I knew it could go either way. It wasn't, I would not say it's the shock that 2016 was. But I do think it's sad because, I mean, I don't understand the less people fucking voting thing. I don't understand that. If you're not voting, you pretty much voted for what just happened, because, you know, if you weren't for that thing, you basically supported it. I don't know what's going to got. I don't. You know, I mean, the whole Palestinian thing is going to get worse because of this. So, you know, I don't know, gay rights and trans rights. I don't know. This is not what I thought the country was, and it's disheartening because when I looked up the Betty Boop thing, it is interesting how many people think the voting for president has to do with the economy, and it really doesn't. Like, they have very little to do with the economy while they're in office, especially. Usually, sometimes the next person, but the only one, like when I talked about the 30s, but I actually talked to like a couple of people who were like literal accountants, and they were like, no, you're right. Like, it's like maybe 10% or something like that. And it's kind of like one of those things where you look at it and yeah, I think, I don't know. First off, we need to take that away because so many people think, oh, it's the economy, and like Clinton ran on it, and it's like it's a myth. It's a myth. Other than the guy who was the president during the Great Depression, so super relevant to right now. But most of the time, it doesn't. The one thing, I don't want to talk about this so much because I understand this has been a rough week, and we don't want to start I don't want to depress anyone. I don't want to cry or anything. But it's just been really hard. But I do think I don't know. I've never really thought America wasn't ugly to a certain degree. I always knew for a long time everything, all the evil kind of any country's done. I don't think we're like the most evil or anything. I don't actually even like patriotism. I think it's a little silly. I think it's like sort of taking credit for something you honestly didn't do unless you're someone who made the country that you're in or something. I've never really believed that. And I expected to make I don't know, but the fact that so many people didn't vote hurts. But the fact that, like, what is going to happen in the next 4 years, if not longer, I mean, the fact that, like, this country is just so determined to be like, no, but business and security. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you think of this is. And also the fact that, like, to be perfectly honest, like, so many people say, oh, it's like, you know, you think what it's going to do to our family. Like, for families, like, I don't, like, I do not get that because they don't pay for daycare. They're going to hurt the Department of Education. They're going to make it harder to have kids. Like, it's not even... Anyway, that is not true at all. No politician really makes it easy to have kids. They just fight over, you know, whether they can be born. What happens after, they don't really fucking give a shit. And I don't even care what party is saying what. They don't do crap for any family. Like, any all the things that politicians are graded on are things they, like, will never do shit about. Like, it is, like, so ridiculous to me. The more before the election, it was hitting me, even before this, that, like, how much we grade these people on have nothing to do with anything they have power over. And yet we do it all the time and act like it's educated. I talked to so many people who would say, like, those stupid betting polls were real polls, and I was like, most of those betting things, like, we can't even bet on as American citizens, and they'd be like, no, that's an MSNBC poll. It's just really sucks. But here's the thing, well, I mean, we're fucked. There's no other way around that. But I've heard so many people say, don't give up, don't whatever. I agree to a point, but one thing that's helped me is I am basically always tired. And the reason I am fluctuates between the day. It's not even where, you know, between the two kids and the job and wife and the there's like so many things. And like sometimes just a full day or something. One thing I've especially learned, and I learned a lot from what happened to me over, I know, look, this is going to sound stupid YouTube egotism, but like when like Frederator and I kind of parted ways and the monetization thing, and that was not as scary as this, obviously. But what I learned from that, and that stressed me out a lot, was just maintaining your creative projects is a very good way to be smart about being creative when you don't feel like you're not in the mood to create anything. And what I mean by that is like all the ad settings I had went away for every video. I don't know when I'll fix all of them. or like setting up a blue sky, or just doing like I need to do a link tree. Never, I'm starting to do that, but didn't want to. I don't know. I was doing it. I fell asleep basically, but like doing stuff like that, and having like a dumb YouTube documentary on or something like that. Um, I would say that is a really easy way to do something for yourself that will help you tremendously. I've got so much organization and like helped clear I've like undone like ad restrictions on videos and things like that. And if you do drawings and stuff and there's some you haven't scanned or some you've never posted and you have them done and they're sitting there, or it's just a little bit, we all have projects like that. Do that, and that will 100% help you. That's like, I know everyone has these like crazy like don't give up. It's like you can like get drunk one night and have ice cream. It's cool. Like don't, or there's can be a week where you just like organize shit because you're like, I just don't feel it. That's totally cool. But like there are ways you can help yourself and be lazy, and I would highly recommend that because it's like helped me out a lot since just that silly thing, but it like helped me be able to still do things and help grow and help not give up at the same time or not. So I would acknowledge that. But my two things, one, the Department of Education thing, I do worry about Sesame Street. I do worry about my kids' school. So like, what are they going to do if they do that to the Department of Education? Because I kept hearing that stupid thing about the price of milk. I should move on because I don't want to eat up this whole stream on this. But my main thing here, and this is not a conspiracy theory, this is acknowledged by NBC News and all this stuff, is this. They are very much planning on doing massive deportations in America. NBC News has said that they're planning on that. CBS, like all of them, have said he's planning on doing that. There's reports of companies building camps, which those seem to be a little the sources on that. I don't know if they've gotten better since I looked at it, but it would seem more rumors. However, they are going to do that. I am at first when I heard that, I thought that the country would be really upset and understand things that they look at what they did, and I don't have a lot of faith right now that we're gonna see shitty streams from Nick Fuentes be promoted because he's laughing at it. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I think after January, expect something like that, and I think that's going to be really hard. How it is perceived by the public could potentially be just as hard understanding how they're okay with that. I will agree with Not Plausible saying is if you're a Democrat voter and you don't like what's going on here, the fact that they lost 15 million votes shows me that we need to be a little less fair weather fans about voting against him and that party, and we really need to think about what's going to happen if, from what they want to do, we even get another election. So don't give up just yet. But you know what? I'm not surprised that America sucks this bad. America, I don't think voting third party is really an alternative presently. But America was the inspiration for the Holocaust, with the Native Americans. And I always think about how we sort of act like that was bad, but, it's not that bad. But I think sometimes we should deal with the evil that we can really do, and I think about that a lot. And that's maybe more people should watch Starship Troopers, but I don't think America's ever dealt with the fascism that's always been here. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry, Steve Meister. Hello, Eddie Catboy. Hello, everyone. Let's move on. Sorry, I'm not gonna. I don't want to like not talk about it. Is basically my view. If you didn't know, I think that's bullshit. I will acknowledge that it sucks. I'm very worried about my future, my children's future, and all of your guys' future, everybody's future. So, I don't think so. Is it really loud or something, or is I? There was like people. I don't know. Someone was doing something on the fire escape over there. I don't fucking know. Apologies. Anyway, all right. So, election part over. Scavenger's Reign season 2. We saw a trailer, sort of a, I guess a trailer for one, and they announced that they tried to pitch it to Netflix, who turned it down. I really like this show a lot. I think it's one of the best science fiction shows I've seen. It's like the best sci-fi thing. I think it's better than Dune. I think it is so imaginative and different and interesting, and it's more based on like what I liked about the heavy metal thing of Mobius and all those guys is they were very much about experimentation and uh, experimentation. And I sorry, it's going to take me a while to come back. Apologies. Uh, Experimentation and ideas, and the idea of the fun of sci-fi and like drawing a cool thing and having all that and everything like that. And I love that about that show. And uh I let me just take a break for a second, and then I feel like I'm not doing this right. So just could you just let's just take a break for a second. I'll be bumper two's not working. Cool. I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Fictional sword. Oh man, that's a good one. Thank you for that. Okay, that's got to be the next daily question on the Discord. I'm sorry, dude. That's really good. That's really good. I really like that. Nobody can say Luke's lightsaber. All right, that's not a sword though, but I want to acknowledge. Um, That is Ace the Wind Rider. Well, I wish I had seen New Orleans. It's hard to like when it's with like the kids and stuff. It's really hard to like get away and all that stuff. All right. So Scavenger's Reign. One of the producers of Scavenger's Reign posted of creators of the show, and Green Street Studios produces the concept trailer they made in-house, which looks amazing, kind of more expanding on the crew getting more initiated with the world. We saw some new creatures and stuff. It looked like really good animation. So if you're a fan of Scavenger's Reign, I think I retweeted it. I guess that it was where it was. I believe I did. That is on. You should go check that out. It's really good, but it looked like even weirder and more interesting of them, like kind of getting more used to the planet and kind of like I'm more used to or more inhabited or kind of, I don't want to say gentrify or becoming more a part of the planet, making that more of their home. I think it looked really, really interesting. But it apparently it has not yet been greenlit and they're just sort of whetting the appetite. But it looked amazing. It almost made the thumbnail, but there's like not an image that. Problem with thumbnails is you really have to have an image that grabs you, and there's nothing that would grab you. The images in the trailer grab you, but it doesn't. You wouldn't know what it was unless you watch the trailer. So watch the trailer. That's what I'm saying. It's really cool, and if you haven't watched Scavenger's Reign, I recommend it. It's a great show. All right, next up, Scary Movie. Is back. I guess this is Scary Movie 6. Let's just say it is. Anyway, the next Scary Movie is Miramax brought back the Wayans brothers. Miramax was sort of, the Weinsteins haven't been involved in Miramax since the 2000s when they went to okay, maybe I should have done a first season one. I don't know. I might rethink that. But since Miramax lost it when Disney sort of got rid of them and they made the Weinstein Studios, so that was like he was still doing evil shit. But I thought this was a Dimension thing, but it is sort of Miramax's biggest franchise that's not Scream, and they don't have that anymore. So I guess they knew they could bring it back, and they got the Wayans brothers involved. Marlon Wayans, who is going to, I believe he's cast. I keep hearing he's cast in the next Jordan Peele movie. I don't know if we have a title or when that's coming out. And there's also rumors that he could get Jordan Peele to be in it, which I'm like, super unconfirmed. But I understand. It's one of those things like they're working together, and I'm sure Jordan Peele's seen the Scary Movie movies. And Regina Hall says she's open to it. We haven't heard from Anna Faris. This has been one of the big things that the Weinsteins kind of stole the Scary Movie franchise from the Wayans. Actually, the first Scary Movie, which I noticed not many people are talking about, was until Black Panther. So that was 18 years. The highest grossing film by a black filmmaker was the first Scary Movie. That's true, actually. At least in America. People keep saying America. I don't know if it's, with the Too Fast, Too Furious, at least, and was the F. Gary Gray, I don't know. Now I have questions if that's true. But apparently in America, at least, I think it is true. Now I'm questioning, I heard that a few places. I didn't. Anyway, whatever. It sounds like a cool idea, especially because horror's changed so much. I'm curious what they'll do. They'll do A24 stuff. A lot of people are saying maybe to get Melissa Barrera in, which I think would be a cool idea. I think they should have fun with it. I don't know. I like Marlon Wayans in interviews. I don't know if I don't know if he's the funniest. I'm gonna be real about that, but I do think the Wayans have such talent in that family that I could see them pulling together and making a really cool Scary Movie. But I do think don't do it without Regina Hall and Anna Faris. I think Melissa Barrera would be great. I think you could get a lot of cameos from people. I'm curious if they're going to do A24, if they're going to do the newer Screams, or just do a reboot parody thing, because the original one is a parody of Scream. But the funny thing is, Scream was originally called Scary Movie, so it's like kind of interesting. I am curious, like, who comes back, how they'll do all that. That's going to be really interesting. I'm curious because the Zucker brothers sort of took over that franchise. What the Zaz company will say about that, but we'll see what's going to happen with that. But I do think it'll be interesting how they would handle this now. Not just when you say it, so many people, I've said that to a few people and they go, oh, because they can't, do the sexy stuff. And I was like, I'm actually not thinking of that. I'm thinking of like, how will they handle horror now? I think that's like, are they going to do Terrifier? Like Terrifier is like super mainstream at this point, and it's super violent. Like I forgot to mention, I saw the first Terrifier. I was like, whoa! It's not like a deep movie, but it is gory as all fucking shit. Like Art the Clown is crazy. Like that is like intense. Like I watched him saw a lady in fucking half. Like it is like nuts. Like William Ellman was like, there's a lot of like genital stabbing stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can handle it. But I was like, whoa, this is like, it's pretty wild. So I'm curious how they're gonna handle stuff like that. That is like, I think it's like, like it would actually be funny if they just had Art the Clown in it. And he just does like a Terrifier thing, and they just like look horrified, and he just like walks away. Like that would be hilarious. Like they don't even know, like, because Terrifier, I was actually talking to people about Terrifier, and I'm like, it is a big deal because it's this unrated box office hit and all this stuff. Terrifier 2 and 3 are worse. But it was like, it's no different from mentally, maturity wise, a John Waters movie, because those, like, I was 13 or something, but it's basically like, even he said, like, little kid kind of understanding, and the Terrifier movies are not that deep, so you're probably, anyway. But I think it's good for the Wayans. Even if I'm not a big scary movie fan, but if this movie, that they got it back, I think they should have it because it was their success story. They made it into what it was. They came up with the whole idea to do it. They should get it back. They should get a return to it. They should try to bring the parody movie back. Do not let Friedman and Seltzer anywhere near this. They should be banned from set. In fact, I would like them to leave whatever state this movie's made in. Just like, don't let them be involved. I don't care how many Wayans are in this. I have no objection to the nepotism of the Wayans family. I like Damon Wayans Jr. Like, get them all in there. Every Wayans, there's like a lot of Wayans. Like, I'm not being silly or stupid. There's like a lot of Wayans in the industry. Like, I want them all in the movie. And Anna Faris from Gene Hall, but Friedman and Seltzer, just like, do not let them go anywhere. They can see the movie when it's on streaming. I don't even want them to edit. I don't want them to give you notes. But yeah, hello Maximus Hardman. Anyway, so we've learned. I've not really gotten to go into this too much, so I think I'll be able to hear other podcasts and stuff. But I will. No, the Wayans are super talented. That is the one thing I find super fascinating about that family. Is someone was like, "Isn't Damon Wayans a nepotism baby, a nepo baby?" And I was like, I mean, it's different because like all the Wayans are nepo babies, so it's like, like to me, it's like if he didn't do a movie, that would be weirder to me, to be honest. So we learned that Simon Kinberg is writing a trilogy of Star Wars movies. I think there'll be more info about this, so I'll just for next week's show. So I'm just going to like say a few things, is that it's apparently not 10, 11, 12 like was originally reported. That's been shot down by most people as when it was first reported. We know it's a trilogy. But I'll say this, Simon Kinberg sucks. And like, I don't know why you would have him do this. And it majorly bums me out that Star Wars creatively, like how they hire talent has never really been great. And like, I think they've had a few inspired choices, and then like Kathleen Kennedy and them, this is my only like anti-Kathleen Kennedy rant, is she just picks big people and doesn't pick people that are right for Star Wars necessarily. And I think like Dave Filoni and Favreau and Rian Johnson and guy who did Rogue One and Andor, like those were great. Everyone else, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, it's just like they pick very industry people, and I just find it to be really boring. And this is another one of those choices. That's my only sort of I don't like her running Star Wars thing is like I wish she would be a little more creative. So it's just like Simon Kinberg, like that's not interesting. Like that, like same with like this is the person who's like J.J. Abrams doing a reboot of an established franchise, and you're like, oh, cool. Like it's like she just picks boring people. I have nothing against her as a producer for Spielberg, but it does feel like she got a little too accustomed to working with the biggest director in town and wants to keep doing that sort of thing. And it's like you need to. The genius of Feige, if you like him or not, is that he could pick out people and make them into big directors, and she's just not that kind of person. All right, so the director of Godzilla -1, whose name I will mess up, so I'm not going to say it, has said he's coming back for another Godzilla movie that has been confirmed. We do know, and I said this before, but I bears repeating, that he likes Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, or whichever title it is, wherever you are, as so many with some of these, I don't know. My only thing again with that is a very weird Godzilla movie. I understand the on concept alone because it is an environmental message film. It's often cited as like Godzilla films are not just stupid monster movies; they mean more. I get that, but please do not make a straight boring ass Godzilla Smog Monster movie. I really don't want that. I really don't. I love Godzilla -1. That is not the way to make that movie. So please make something else or make it weird. That's my biggest thing with this. Like I know he's said that, and I know he said he met with Feige and others. He only said Feige. What I think though is like, wouldn't you rather your legacy be with Ishiro Honda than like Iron Man? Like to me, it's like the MCU thing's already established, and maybe you'll get a lot of money, and maybe there's a character you really like, but like there's not a lot of like recently we've had a real great run of very well directed Godzilla movies, and wouldn't you like to be part of that period rather than the MCU? I just think it's a good idea. I agree with you, Ratboy Mickey, and hello, by the way. I would like Godzilla Raids Again. I think Godzilla Raids Again. You know what? I wouldn't mind if they got to spend more time on that because they made that so quickly. You can kind of tell, and it would be cool to do like a really well done one because we've done the origin story so many times. That would actually be interesting. So maybe they've done that. There's so many. I'm not sure if we're watching. Oh man, I watched Speed Racer with the kids, and I watched the theme song with them the night before, and they were so hyped. And tonight they're like, Dad, when we were watching Speed Racer, and my son kept calling it, "Go the racer, go the racer, go the racer, go." Because he didn't. But man, that show, they restored it. It's on Tubi. Visually, so interesting. It's so much better than it's restored. I'm real serious. Like, watch some Speed Racer on Tubi. You'll be surprised. Like, it's not the greatest movement-wise, but the way they edit that, the movement and the shots, it's just like so inspired. Such a beautiful show. Like, I've watched that show, but I've always seen shitty copies. And man, that restoration, phenomenal. We watched 2 tonight. We're going to watch 2 tomorrow, but it's all on Tubi. Anyway, they loved it. They were spellbound. It's spellbound. And I was like, you know what, kids? A lot of cool, creative people were Speed Racer fans. Kurt Cobain, the Wachowskis. That's enough, really. Do we need any more? I don't know. Was Sponge did the one on Saturday morning cartoon? No, but seriously, a lot of cool people. That's why I played on MTV. I saw it on MTV as a kid because they played it like 7 every night. That's how I saw Speed Racer, was on MTV, not Cartoon Network. I remember that. It was like Speed Racer and Beavis and Butthead. And then you'd have dinner. Ruined my brain. All right. This is a project that I'm actually super interested. No, let's do. Okay. So the Over the Garden Wall got its quick Aardman tribute. There's not much to say on this, but I will say, Craig McCrae. See, only cool people like Speed Racer. You don't like Speed Racer, you're not cool. That's what everybody knows. The Over the Garden Wall Aardman tribute was really great. I really liked it a lot. I also particularly liked that it didn't look like Aardman. It looked like its own cool, weird style. And I really do. I really liked it. It was a really great little tribute. It was wonderful. I like that they did it after Thanksgiving. It was really, really beautiful little short. There's not much to say about it, but it was cool that they did it. I will, the Rocket Lomax Hello, I will disagree with you on that because boomers were not really into it. It was actually Gen X. I would say it's more Gen X. But that's, potato, potato. So this is back to a project that I'm a big Parliament fan. And by definition, a big George Clinton fan. And we learned that Eddie Murphy is going to be making a George Clinton biopic that's going to be directed by Dreamgirls' Bill Condon. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Bill Condon as a director, but Eddie Murphy and what he did with the Rudy Ray Moore, the Dolomite Is My Name movie, he really worked very hard on that. And like that was not a film. He looked for the right writer and he really developed that movie, and that's a really great movie. I should have a read about it. I really like it a lot. Because he got the guys who did Ed Wood, and he really like was smart about picking the right producer and picking the right writer. And I actually believe that seeing the care he put into that, he would not make a subpar George Clinton movie. I actually do think him being involved, because I believe he's involved as a producer as well. If he's going to be involved, that's a good idea for Amazon MGM Studios. My only thing with this, it's by Eddie Murphy Productions. So I actually do think, but here's the thing. Parliament, there's a couple things about Parliament. One is Parliament and Funkadelic are different, very different bands. There's so many interviews with Clinton where he says this thing like, I just have the same band, and then we'd record another album in the studio. They would make two separate, very different albums. Funkadelic is like this weird art band, and Parliament is the funk band. And it's check them out. They're both very interesting. And then they became P-Funk, but they would play shows and play songs from both albums, and then Bootsy Collins, and then all the other offshoots. Like everything Wu-Tang Clan did, Parliament did first. And if you want to say but I do wish this was a weirder director, because Parliament would do some weird stuff. I don't know if Bill Condon has that in them. I do sort of like Dreamgirls. I was very into the idea before I saw it. I don't know if he did I think acting wise he did, but visually he's not there. I would have picked like a weirder director for a Parliament movie. I'm also like, I think the other thing, you look at George Clinton now and you don't see the thing with Eddie Murphy. I think Brian Tyree Henry would probably be more type, body type wise. And I'm sure he would do a great job as George Clinton. But George Clinton was a lot like skinnier in the 70s, and I'm assuming that's what Eddie Murphy's doing possibly. Not to body shame, but just they're very different looking guys. But I do think like having a star like Eddie Murphy, it'll go well. George Clinton's still alive. I need to see him live before he died. That's like a mission I have. I love Parliament. They're a great band. We wouldn't have Dr. Dre's The Chronic without them. We wouldn't have Doggy Style without them. We wouldn't have so much in our culture without Parliament. So if you do not know them, I highly suggest you listen to them. They're really great. But I'm excited for it. I'm a little cautious, but I think it's a cool thing. I still have some Ghost Grape Energy. If anyone's into super chats before, I think we'll probably talk for another half hour, do Invincible Fight Girl, which will be more of a reaction just because I feel like I'm going to go. I don't want to go over tonight because I'm in the bedroom. Obviously, people need to sleep in here. But we'll see what we can do. But anyway, if anyone wants to do a super chat, do so. So, the Robert Zemeckis, Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit thing is a little weird. And I want to... I've kind of been, like, dispelling this because I heard him on the Mark Maron WTF podcast. And he said, and that was before he did a lot of... This interview quote came out and all this stuff, because he's promoting here. That he said that it couldn't be made today because of everything with IP. And Spielberg, and I've known this forever, Spielberg's the reason, like, Zemeckis couldn't get Roger Rabbit made. Spielberg got Roger Rabbit made, and he could call the studios, who were in animation was not in a great shape at the time, Roger Rabbit came out, and it kind of brought back animation, and Spielberg could call Warner Brothers and call all the studios and get all these characters in, and no studio would let that happen now, which is 100% what I thought is probably true. And Zemeckis said that, and I heard him say that in a different place. And then suddenly, I guess because he's doing all these interviews, and he probably got sick of saying that, possibly, he said, well, Disney doesn't like how hot Jessica Rabbit is, which is a weird thing to say. I'm confused. Maybe Disney said that at the end. They're like, well, we don't want to have to call Zaslav, so we're not going to do this, man. I'm sorry about that. But then instead they have this whole thing of like, oh, I'm sure at the end they're like, also, I mean, Jessica Rabbit's really hot. I don't know. That'd be weird, maybe. Like they just need to throw an excuse. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me about that. So I just don't see that being a reason, and especially because he listed a different reason earlier. So I find it to be a little odd that he would just start saying it differently instead of like the real reason, which is they would never let that happen now. Like you just like but part of me is like, I think it would be a smart move for Warner Brothers, and I think it would be a smart move. Like Universal just sits on characters. Like they have Felix, they have Woody Woodpecker, they have so many people like that, and they don't do shit with them. And it's been brought up, like I've talked to so many animation historians, like I don't know, like anytime we talk about like what happened to these characters and where they are now, especially if they're at Universal. I mean, they have like Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat is on Peacock, and they have like all that stuff, but they don't do anything with them. So it's like, I actually think you could do it now. The studios will not let you do it now. Like even when Tarantino did the thing with Soderbergh to have Michael Keaton's character being out of sight and Jackie Brown, he had to like call him on the phone. It's like, you guys need to stop your dumb studio shit and like let us have a character, let him be both. And like he had to like use all his clout to do that. Like the thing is like everyone's like, oh, MCU, and before you could never do the DCU kind of stuff. It's like you really have to argue with studios to share IP, and it's just not something, you really have to argue with them. So I don't know, maybe Spielberg doesn't have the clout he did in the 80s to do something like that, but at the same time, I think it's a shame that, I think it would be cool, but you need a really good script. And the other thing is, if you're doing it, who do you include? What year are you having? Because Bob Hoskins is dead. So like, if it takes place in the 70s, do you then include 60s characters? Do you then have like the Beatles cartoons, and like does Fritz the Cat walk? Probably not Fritz the Cat, but you know what I mean? It's like, to do it now, would you need like the Powerpuff Girls in there? Like there's so many like different combinations that would bring up. But yeah, I believe it's the IP thing. I don't know why he's saying the Jessica Rabbit thing. I think Jessica Rabbit's like a gorgeous cartoon character. Sorry. I think she's a great character, actually. I saw Sabrina Carpenter reference the patty cake thing in her tour, and everyone's like, oh, it's probably because the state's really conservative, or her boyfriend's in the audience. It's like, it's pretty clear she's doing patty cake. Like, it's a reference. Anyway. So Universal wants to bring back the Lego movies. But they want to make them live action, except for Ninjago, I guess. But they have 3 deals with 3 different directors. Patty Jenkins, which, okay, it's a weird choice, but Patty Jenkins needs, she's known for like 3 movies, right? It's like Monster, then nothing for a really long time, like a lot of TV, and like she was working, she was doing stuff. Then Wonder Woman, and then Wonder Woman 1984. If I were her, I would make a small indie movie and then come back. But Jake Kasdan, who's been signing a lot of deals, which a lot of people speculate is because he knows Red One is going to bomb pretty bad. So him and The Rock made a deal to make Jumanji 3, and he's going to be involved in this. But then the one, I will say, who I think could make a live-action movie about Legos or someone making Legos was Joe Cornish. I actually think he is a good choice. I think it stinks we don't get more movies from him. We've only had two. Both Attack the Block and The Kid Would Be King, I think, are great, actually. I really like The Kid Would Be King. I really like Attack the Block. I feel like we should watch again soon. Like, we watch it almost every year. So, like, those are classics. Really great. I mean, he, like, started John Boyega's career, all that stuff. I just don't understand why these would be live action. I think it's a stupid idea. And I think, the problem with the Lego movies, like Piece by Piece, which was a movie made with Lego, didn't really take off. I think they really oversaturated the brand really quick. Because that year, I think it was 2017, where we got, it was 2017 to 2018, we got like 3 Lego movies in a year. That's like too many. Like, and I don't think Ninjago helped. I actually think they shouldn't have done the Ninjago thing. I think that was a dumbass idea. Like, it's like, because why not just do it with the original voice actors? Like, it's like, it felt like they spent way too much on that. So I hope they figure out what to do with it. But this seems a little weird. But Joe Cornish, I think, could make a good movie. But yeah. All right. The Squid Game stuff. I saw the trailer for Squid Games 2, which is coming out right after Christmas. I think it is going to, like how everyone says, it's going to be the most talked about thing during the Christmas break for everyone. It's going to be a huge hit, obviously, duh. Yeah, it seemed cool. It seemed like a good trailer. It's basically like, uh-oh, I'm stuck in the Squid Games again. Oh, no. Uh-oh, I'm doing the Squid Games. Guess what, guys? Capitalism's evil, so I need to do it again. Whoa, whoa. Sorry. I wish the trailer was like, we're on a collision course to wackiness. Let's go. What? There's no squids in it. Why do we even call it that? Derp. Uh-oh, y'all want to do the Squid Games again? Well, that don't work out so good, but we'll see. Sorry. But it looked like a good trailer. Sorry, there's a trailer section later, but I figure let's do all the Squid Games now. However, there is also a American Squid Games TV series brought to that is going to be made by David Fincher. This is not a remake. There's a lot of reporting on this that kind of has now been cleared up. It is not a movie. It is a series, and it is not a remake. It is a American version of Squid Game set in the same universe. So it is more of a spin-off, but with white people and who are American. I'm assuming it's white people. I shouldn't have assumed it was white people, but knowing how America's going, I should probably, it probably will be. Yeah, so David Fincher's making it. It'll probably be interesting. He made the game, which is really good. I think that's what most people expect from that. But I'm a little like, I feel like David Fincher could do better, and I don't know what we're really going to get out of this necessarily. To be honest with you, I just don't really see it. So, all right. We are running out of time. I think I'll do a few things. I'll talk about box office, and I'll come back. I just like the idea, like the trailers, like they don't really explain like why. So it's just like, guess what, guys? I played these Squid Games before. I'm curious if someone will be like, well, yeah, I did see that Mr. Beast video. But man, that guy is fucked up. Anyway, I'm gonna go do the Squid Games. That I would like. They should be like, man, Mr. Beast, what a weird guy. Never buy Lunchables in my fucking life. Anyway, I'm going to go play this game till I die or make a ton of money. Which apparently lots of people believe based on the election. Alright, so there was a Marvel Disney Plus ad that had all these shows. We got a we got a sneak peek of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and all the shows that are coming up. But that actually was a good trailer. And then they just threw Deadpool and Wolverine in there because I guess it's coming. And it was like a little weird, to be honest. It didn't really flow well. I rewatched it today. It was like, the Deadpool Wolverine, I get that you need make sure like people are still, hey, Disney Plus and stuff. But it just felt like an odd thing to do. But they did it. Good for them. Whatever. So David Zaslav, when the election happened and went the way it did, I'm sure everyone in the chat is super excited to hear what David Zaslav said about the second Trump term. I know you are. I know you're sitting there and going like, I'm sure he has a great quote that'll make me feel so good about myself that I'm so excited to hear what he says about virtually anything. Okay, so he said, the guy who definitely needs to merge his business with somebody said, these are great companies, and if the best content is going to win, there needs to be some consolidation in order to have the businesses be stronger and better consumer experiences, which I'm sure is something David Zaslav thinks about all the time. And he's saying outright, okay, sorry, I'll be more chill. Sorry. I like chill Jim better. Oh, sorry about that. All right. But he's saying these are direct quotes, by the way. He is discussing outright consolidation of an industry that is in generational disruption, which is true. We have an upcoming fucking Siri, go away. Nobody likes you. I didn't even hit you. Go away.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Just please go away, Siri. I never use you. All right. He's saying we have an upcoming new administration. He says, too early to tell. This is during an earnings call. It may offer a piece of change for an opportunities of consolidation that may be quite different, that would provide a real positive and accelerated impact on the industry that's needed. So yes, he is going to merge with Universal. This is not, he sucks. Anyway. We also learned that they're not going to make any more Fantastic Beasts movies, so that's neat. Apparently, there's some Fantastic Beasts stuff in the theme park for it, but not necessarily the movies, so that'll be weird. As well as, before I talk about box office, there is actually interesting box office stuff that I would like to talk about. I'm just going to talk about this past week's and not go over it to go over 2 weekends, but there is one specific thing that really needs to be talked about. But the Russo brothers, who are great people, have signed an AI guy to their company. They have hired AI expert to enrich the creative process. Look, I've never thought the Russo brothers fully direct those movies. I thought the Marvel Previs team. Good night, Cinram. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Sorry. Sorry if I was too cynical. Anyway, I've thought the Russo brothers for a long time have more. They had a lot of help from Marvel, and if you look at their other work, it kind of feels like they're missing something. And so they have hired a chief AI expert to their company. I'm never going to be okay with AI, so I just don't see it happening being at all interesting. All right, there are a lot of things to talk about tonight. Jesus. Quick things. I'll just do movie delays and then box office, and then there's other stuff after box office. Movie delays. Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17 has been delayed 3 months to April 18th, 2025. To me, that's a better release date than where they had it before. I think that could be possibly good. We'll see. And then the Michael Jackson biopic, which was going to come out, I think, in April, is being moved to October 3rd. I think it just makes more sense because Thriller is so associated with Halloween. I'm sure if this is performing well, it'll perform all throughout the month of October. And obviously Oscars and all that stuff. They keep saying it's $1 billion movie. I will look. Here's the thing about that. On the surface, it is $1 billion movie, right? A biopic about Michael Jackson. He's one of the most popular entertainers of all time. I have not seen a trailer for this movie. I have not seen any footage from this movie. I've seen like very far away photos and stuff. So to me, I just don't. I don't know enough to fully say it's $1 billion movie. If I see a great trailer, and I see this kid being Michael, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like Michael Jackson and all this stuff. And I see like what this film's really covering and all that stuff, then I'll agree with you. But as of right now, it's like, yes, the idea of a Michael Jackson biopic, like a Queen one or something, does sound like it could be $1 billion idea. But that's all we have to go on right now. All right, so box office. So the main box office story is not a film that was even, I don't think it got to be reported, which is everything that's going on. Do I see it? Yeah, it's not even in here, right? Which is only estimated because it's not on Box Office Mojo, and I don't think it's anywhere. They didn't fully report the numbers, which was Juror number 2, and it is one of the weirdest box office things we've had recently. But yeah, if any super chat, just so I can stay awake, that would be cool too. Sorry, not to be begging. Juror number 2, which was the new film from Clint Eastwood. It was not really promoted. The trailer came out soon before, and they're only having it in about 50 theaters, and it's actually probably, as of right now, it might be playing its last show in theaters right now, because it's being pulled from theaters. And then it's going to be put on PVOD and eventually Max. It's a weird idea because it was made when they made it for about $30 million for Max exclusively. And then they said, oh, it's going to come to theaters because David Zaslav himself, has said he doesn't like movies going right to Max, like Beetlejuice, not Beetlejuice, Blue Beetle, for example. Well, actually, Beetlejuice was going to be to Max for a little bit, so that one as well. And so people were confused why he's being so weird about, or Warner Brothers being so weird about putting this out in more theaters and really releasing this, specifically because we didn't have a great weekend. Now, Clint Eastwood, although his last movie, Cry Macho, didn't do well, and that was a bit of a contentious relationship with David Zaslav, as he didn't understand why they're being so nice to Clint Eastwood. And they're like, well, Clint Eastwood's been with Warner Brothers for so long. And I think his famous quote about Clint Eastwood, it's like, it's not show friends, it's show business. I would argue that like he had the highest grossing movie of 2014. He's had some pretty substantial hits in the last 10 to 15 years, both Sully and American Sniper, as well as other stuff that have done pretty well. So it's sort of like silly to just throw him away like that because he has the box office potential to pull, be worth it. Like both, I've heard Warner Brothers before Zaslav say like, but then he has like a huge hit and then, it sort of makes it worth, like American Sniper, not talking about the politics of it, just the box office returns, very much worked out for their relationship with Warner Brothers and probably made him enough money that he cleared up a few of those non-hit ones he does. So I think Cry Macho got in this weird relationship with Zaslav and he got all upset about it. And it is sort of like this thing, well, why don't you just put it to Max? But then why are you still making Max movies when you said you won't do that anymore? It's like kind of this weird thing. I think what honestly happened is they did not give this movie a proper release date. I'm sure because of, and I've talked to this before, how the contractual things with awards consideration is something studios always have to deal with. They never want to break those contracts or deal with the agents getting upset with them. And so apparently that was a factor. Supposedly Clint Eastwood is not upset about this. He thought it was going to Max. He's like, cool, it'll be in theaters for a little bit. But I do think like you can't really expand this movie because of the juggernaut that's going to happen over Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not joking where we're talking about the possibility of Wicked opening to 100 million on Friday, Gladiator performing insanely well, possibly being 100 million. I've heard reports up to that. Then you have Moana 2 coming out on Thanksgiving. Like, they're going to eat up most of the box office. So having a film appeal to older audiences like Juror Number 2 does, older audiences do not show up first weekend. So to have that film grow properly, it should have come out in September. It should have come out earlier than when it came out. That was a stupid decision. And maybe they realized, they waited too long and they didn't know what to do, which I think is sort of probably what happened, because this is a movie that like could build and like do well and do very well at like number 5 for like a month or something. Because older audiences, the older you get with audiences, the less they really come out, typically. Although that's not becoming as true now, but especially with a movie like this, I don't see anyone really coming out for that. But I just don't. I don't know what's going on. The idea of it, I think it probably got approved because I know they're very for, like what happened with Sonnenberg's Kimmy. They approved that because Zoe Kravitz was in the Batman, and they wanted to have another movie you could watch there. And they paid for Kimmy, and they're investing in stars and like building them up. And they also get to financially take advantage of having another movie from the star they just built up, much like with Nicholas Hoult, who's going to be in Superman. So I think it's a stupid idea how they handled it. I think they should have released it earlier, and they did not. So I didn't want to spend a time. I don't know how interested you guys are in Juror Number 2. It looks like fine to me. But I thought it was a very weird box office story, because it's like, well, like, why did you break? What's your deal with this movie? like, why are you doing this? Like, why'd you even make it if you're going to do it this way, and why release it in this way? And there's no max date, and they say it's going to be on PVOD. They haven't given a date for that. It's just like, I don't know if it's the cry macho thing or just like they don't all know what to do. And the idea that it's probably Clint Eastwood's last movie, although apparently he's still determined to make more. The other box office, Wild Robot is still where is Wild Robot? Sorry. Wild Robot is at number 2 still. It actually went up 9.4%. It's at 121 million. A lot of people are now saying it is the favorite to win Best Animated Feature, which is insane, frankly. Number 1 for the past 2 weekends has been Venom: The Last Dance, about 89 million. It's doing fine. It's not doing spectacular. I think this is the cornerstone to the MCU, this non-Spider-Man movies. I think they're probably rethinking this, particularly after Kraven, but we'll see. Smile 2 only went down 29%, as well as Conclave, which is doing really insanely well. It's in about half the theaters of all of the films above it. And actually more or less theaters than a movie like Here, We Live in Time, and Terrifier 3, and it is at number 4, which is really saying something, and really saying something about a more art house box office thing. And it gained 43 theaters, actually. It did go down 23%, but good for Conclave. That's really good, actually. That's good for the for theaters and all that stuff. And we're seeing 2 Indian imports, I believe, or 2 imports at 8 and 9 are Ballyhoo Balia 3 and Singham again. So we're seeing more of that as well. So the box office is actually more healthier. Beetlejuice is still doing well. It could cross 300 million potentially in America, but it's 292 million America only. A lot of people said there might be a third one based on this box office, but it would be more so America. As I said before, it does not do well overseas, much like Twisters. And Anora is doing well, and I really want to see Anora, and has been adding screens. Godzilla -1 actually came in number 15th with 400,000. The Substance is still doing well. I need to see more movies. That's a whole other thing. A lot. Nightmare Before Christmas still holding strong. All sorts of stuff like that. I think this has been... what's going on with the box office is interesting, but I think we're going to see a real rush around Thanksgiving. In fact, I think we'll have bigger numbers on Thanksgiving than Christmas. As much as I like Sonic, and Nosferatu and stuff. I think those films will do well, but I don't think we'll see what we've seen before. And in 64th place, my favorite part of everything, man, why is the bottom of the box always the worst movie? It's always like I thought it'd be funny, and it's always like these like weird dramas. It's like whatever. All right. I think that's everything. Sorry, it's not a big box list. All right, let's go back. All right, trailers. I saw the trailer for Queer. I didn't realize this was a William S. Burroughs, based on William S. Burroughs' book, even though I knew there was a William S. Burroughs book called Queer. I just didn't, maybe I didn't ever read that, right? I haven't really read much about this movie, but it's Luca Guadagnino and Daniel Craig and other guy he's in love with. And looks cool. It's cool doing a William S. Burroughs thing. I mean, Cronenberg tried, and that didn't work out. But maybe it'll work out for this guy. I don't know. Apparently, he's very good. It looked like a really interesting trailer. The trailer for Presence from Sonnenberg. I've liked all these trailers. It sort of feels spooky, and it's a ghost story from the ghost perspective. I'm super excited about that. I love Sonnenberg. There's a few of his I've missed recently, and this is not one I want to miss at all. Well, they are hiding Lucy Liu, I noticed. Unless, like, maybe I saw the wrong trailer. I saw one in... Anyway, yeah, whatever. And then finally, and this is an interesting one called Dear Santa, where a kid misspells Santa and writes a letter that says that's a Dear Santa letter to Satan, and Satan is played by Jack Black. To be honest, it looks like a lot of fun. I was not good at spelling as a kid, and I definitely wrote some Dear Satan letters in my time. Toulouse, do you want to go out? Okay, I gotta let Toulouse out of this room, and then we will... Oh man, I need to finish up this and take a break and do the segments all day. Hold on, let's just... Toulouse is disagreeing. Come on. All right. No, it's like a real... I think it sounds like a cool... I'm more excited for that than the stupid red one, to be honest with you. Okay, we're going to go through a few things I want to get to. God, there's a big Obit segment. Jesus. All right. There's going to be a show called Pop Culture Jeopardy. Jeopardy is just about pop culture, hosted by Colin Jost. It's going to be on Amazon Prime on December 4th. That sounds really cool to me. I'm excited to see it. I'm going to drink some of this Ghost. I know I haven't got a super chat a little bit, but I need the energy. Apologies. So Narnia, or The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, directed by Greta Gerwig, has been kind of the thing about them and Netflix and getting a theatrical release. Supposedly what she's planned to do, because she really wants to release this theatrically, and Netflix is like not into it. And then supposedly she went, I'm going to shoot this movie in IMAX so that it can be released in IMAX. And the idea presently is to get The Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe released in IMAX on Thanksgiving 2027. And then it would come to Netflix around Christmas. I actually sort of think this is a good idea if she can like pull it off and like let it get released in theaters and do well and all that stuff. It sounds like she sort of had to strong arm Netflix to get this to work. There hasn't really been an official approval from them yet, and it's like a few years off, so we'll see if like they really commit to it. But it's something she's really pushing for, and I'm not super... I actually really like Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe as a kid, and I like the BBC version. I think is the best version. I like the animated version. I honestly, when this comes out, I might make a few videos on all the different versions, but I'm not super excited. I wish she wasn't doing this, to be honest with you. I think it's a stupid ass idea, but we'll see. But she's sort of like, her IMAX idea is a good idea. Supposedly, this is only the second IMAX Netflix movie shot in IMAX. The first would be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2 or whatever. So we'll see if this actually takes place. All right. I'm just gonna do two more, and then we'll do obits because that's gonna be a little bit. The director of Skinamarink, Kyle Edward Ball, is making a new movie called The Land of Nod. We don't know much about it, but it's going to be from A24. That's cool that he's going over to A24. He seems perfect for that. I'm very excited for him. I really like his stuff. I really like Skinamarink. I'm very excited for another movie for him. It sounds like kind of a weird, kind of dreamy kind of thing, and I think that Skinamarink was such a unique, interesting vision. I'm very excited for it. There's going to be a Predator animation anthology film, kind of a Animatrix Predator, Anna Predator Atrix, Animatrix Predator, whatever. That is apparently being developed, as well as like Predator Badlands and other Predator stuff. But that sounds legitimately cool, and I'm excited for that. And let's just go on to the obits. Let's get on the obits. Let's do it. All right. Oh, I talked about it last stream. Embarrassed. It's hard to like. Apologies. Okay. So we lost a lot of people. I don't know if I can talk about everyone here, but I'm going to talk about a few people. I know there are a couple of people wanted me to talk about, but I couldn't. It's hard for me to research on the day I'm doing these because I have to like condense so much, and there's always like some little thing that's happening. But let me go through this. So I think the big one was Quincy Jones. He produced the 3 Michael Jackson albums he produced Thriller, Off the Wall, and Bad, who are, I think, some of the best pop records of all time, if not. He was an amazing producer. He was an amazing person. I think he is an amazing. I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of people have said, he didn't need Quincy. I've heard stuff like that. And I actually, before he died, I was listening to the Jacksons album from the 80s and hearing Michael Jackson mixed by someone, not approved by Quincy Jones. Michael Jackson's a very good performer, but not hearing Quincy Jones behind the mixing, there's a noticeable difference. And I think Michael Jackson still would have been a star, but he would not have been the megastar he was without Quincy Jones. I'm like, listen to the Jacksons album from the 80s. It came out right after Thriller. He's at the prime of his creative powers. That's what he did without Quincy Jones, and it is not up to par with the other stuff. It's like, if you're ever like, what did he do for those albums? And I've heard people in interviews ask, and he's like, do those things. Just, I'm telling you right now, find the songs Michael's on that Jackson album. You will very much agree with me. And you're like, what? There's a album between Thriller and Bad. How have I not heard this? There's a reason for that. But you will look. I'm not saying it's bad. There's some cool stuff on there, but it's not Thriller. It's not Bad. Anyway, but he really did so much between Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is because of him. Vibe magazine is because of him. Also, LL Cool J's acting is because of him. He did so much for black culture, so much for culture in general. It's inescapable what he did. He is good night, Super Dusky. He is really one of the most creative, interesting careers of all time. Terry Garr passed away this past week. She was amazing. I gotta say, I had like sort of a huge crush on her in Mr. Mom. She is like really gorgeous in that. She's not really my type, or obviously she's a lot older than me. I'm just sorry, but she's really a cool person. And every time I see her in a movie, she's just such a good actress. She's really good at looking like. I think it's called. I don't know. I'll. You know what? I'll look it up in the little break. I'll look it up. Clam. I'm sorry. She was really good at being cool. She's really good at being funny. Supposedly, her part in Young Frankenstein, like, she was almost the other woman's part. And then they're like, well, you're suddenly going to have to be, like, this other part. And she, like, just made up the accent right there. And that's how she got that role. Like, she just sounded like a really amazing person. I know because of multiple sclerosis, we didn't get to see her career flourish in the last couple of years, which is a real shame. I really thought she was a great actress. David Harris, who was a Cochise in the Warriors, or the leader of the Warriors at the beginning, and then I forget what happens to him, who plays like the Native American guy. He passed away this past week. He's a great guy, a wonderful, wonderful actor, and hey, to be a part of the Warriors, I mean, that's like an iconic status. I'm surprised so many people haven't seen The Warriors, but it's really like a wonderful movie. Greg Hildenbrandt, who did the famous, one of the most iconic Star Wars posters of all time, work for Marvel, an amazing illustrator, passed away this week. And finally, I know there was other people, including Alan Rickens, who passed away. But I do have to say Jonathan Hayes, who is in the original Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors, passed away at 95 this past week as well. As well as I see Paul Morrissey, Cornbread is telling me about as well. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Apologies for my other break. Any super chat would be appreciated. Sorry to bring that up so much. You know what? I'll look up the. Hold on. I can look it up right now because I had it. I added one of the songs semi recently to my big playlist. Hold on. Oh, Victory. The Jacksons' Victory. Yeah. The big song is Torture. I think there's a song with Mick Jagger, which is like not good. It just feels like. Anyway. Victory. The Jacksons' Victory. I know it's on Spotify. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll do Invincible Fight Girl. It'll just be a reaction. It'll be a quick thing. And then we'll do questions. And we'll end. The stream will be over. Yes. Yes. Sorry. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for being here. Cheers to all of you. And that great Welch's grape. All right. I'm going to be right back after this. Sorry, the other bumper is being weird and like disconnects from OBS, and then some days it does work. And I think it got saved in a weird way for some reason. Anyway, I'll be right back, and then we'll finish up the stream. Hey, what's up? Oh, sorry, Cornbread, I didn't mention him. I didn't get to look him up, the art director. Apologies for that. Alright. We are back. Alright, we're gonna do Invincible, Fight Girl, and then we'll do something. We'll show if anyone wants to do a super chat before we end. That would be appreciated. Sorry, my hair's all, I had to deal with like my cat decided to poop in random places, and I cleaned it up, and now hold on. Let me fix my hair. 1 second. Oh, mirror over here. Okay. I don't know how that happened. I don't. Older cats are like, why should I use the litter box? Because, I don't know why they do it. Anyway. Alright. Hold on. I need some energy. Apologies. So, alright, this past week, the first 2 episodes of Invincible, Fight Girl came out on Adult Swim and the next day on Max. The first episode, I think, is a great starter episode. It establishes the main character, how she is an accountant, and everyone's either an accountant or a wrestler in this crazy world, and she very much wants to be a wrestler, and like, it's sort of like a complete thought, like the whole first episode. I thought it was actually really great. The second episode is more about like, they're obviously building more of a story and how she's training and becoming a better wrestler and stuff like that. And I actually thought that was cool as well, but there's such different vibes of an episode. I don't honestly think it makes 100% sense to release them at once, but I guess people do that now, so they did it. It's not like one of those like, and now the story goes here, but maybe I'll feel differently when more episodes come out. I like how crazy and weird it is. Everyone I've tried to get into this show has said because I thought it was really great. I'm not a big wrestling person, but I think it's pretty cool. But almost everyone I've seen to just thinks it's weird. So I don't know what their deal is. But you know what? Weird cartoon shows I think are pretty cool. And wrestling's kind of... And I'm not a big wrestling person, and I thought it was kind of neat. And what is... My cats are being weird. I thought it was pretty neat. I would seriously say check it out. It's definitely one of the more promising, interesting animated series going on right now. And it's cool to have a weird thing. And also... as Ramiku Hiraku Shrine just brought out, and I'll probably cut out this part when it's a thing, but I really appreciate that you said that. The character designs and the whole design animation of it has a very cool, fun anime kind of inspired style, and I think it all works really well together. You should definitely check it out. Alright, that'll probably be cut down, so I don't know how much of that is going in. Anyway, Toulouse, Toulouse, you want to hang out in the stream? No, he's just sitting off camera. I don't know what's going on with him today. Alright, weird shows can save the world. Weird stuff can save the world. Anyway, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? He needs to go to the litter box. Oh my god. Alright, I feel like I've been a little off tonight, so I hope this was a good show. But I'm going to do the Patreon questions first. Let's just sorry. He was gonna poop on the floor. He was doing the stance. I don't know why. There's a whole litter box. Whatever. Alright. You don't need to hear my drama with my cat. I usually never catch him. I just find the poop later. As fun as that is. Alright. I'm gonna write questions below. This is a weird show energy. Questions below. Alright. Let's do Patreon questions first. Alright. We have one from Nathaniel Foga said, what's a Lego film you'd like to see made at Universal? I think the 1,000 Brick Race, I think, would be my first one. I wouldn't mind if they just remade a Fast and Furious movie with Legos either. I think those would be cool. Mizelle Torres asks, you think Zemeckis is being petty about Roger Rabbit 2 because here wasn't doing well? Oh, that's an interesting theory, actually. Also, I'm pretty sure Roger Rabbit 2 was already impossible by the loss of Richard Williams, also true, and the fact that Rescue Rangers couldn't even emulate that magic. Okay, do you need to go? Do you need to go out, bud? No? Alright, we're just gonna let this cat meow, because he is not... Shut up. Every time I try to... Okay, anyway, sorry. This is... You're like, Jim, stop arguing with your cats. Alright. Where... I don't know what's... He is acting crazy, and it is throwing me off. Alright. Now they're wrestling underneath the bed. I kind of agree with you, Mezzel Torres. I think it actually... You're making a lot of sense there. That because, yeah, those interviews didn't come out till later. And I think... that sort of makes sense, but yeah, it's like without Richard Williams, I to me it's a collaborative film. All films are collaborative, but director wise, it's like half of Richard Williams, half Zemeckis and Spielberg. To me, it's like you have to have all three, and like I don't know who you could get to do that now. Like maybe Tom Moore, but I don't really think so. No offense to him. All right, we have a big thing from Cinram, which I didn't read before, so I hope this works out. When it comes to elections, it seems to come down to not which candidate is best, but which candidate is less awful. I've been reading a lot of complaints about Joe Biden the last 2 days, people putting a lot of blame on him for not dropping out of the race sooner. Personally, I think Obama shares some of the blame for encouraging Democrats to get behind his boy instead of Bernie in 2020. Okay. And some people are saying the Dems are just fundamentally out of touch with all the Americans who don't watch Rachel Maddow every week. Who knows what would have been the best strategy for winning votes away from Trump, but I'm curious to know if you believe there was a better person to run against Trump under better conditions, of course, and who that would have been. A little game of fantasy politics, if you will. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I know of a person. I've heard people say Tim Walz. I've heard people say all sorts of people. I don't have a direct person for that. I don't know what. Because it's like, I don't know. The only politics, I sort of like AOC, but I don't think that could happen just because of how liberal she is, but I'm not a big fan of most politicians, to be honest with you. Like, I know people like, who's that guy in California, but I again don't. Problem with me in politics is like, I don't like most politicians, so there's very few I'd even consider. I don't know who you could get. I think you'd have to get someone charismatic, like, I don't know, like Tom Hanks or somebody, like maybe even, but like, I actually don't know. But that's also a problem I've had with the Democrats is I felt like they set up Obama so perfectly. Starting in 2004, in the 2004 Democratic Convention, he gave that great speech. And I've noticed they have never promoted someone like that again. And in my mind, every convention should have that spotlight and someone should get that spot and they should be considered like the next up and coming person, whether they become president or not. And the fact that they don't do that has bothered me for a while. Like neither party has a great succession plan, basically. Like the Republicans don't really know, if we get to vote in 4 years and all that, who would come after Trump. And I feel like Trump came in because they didn't have a really good presidential person. And same with the Democrats. They're not very good at that either. So I think if I was a political party, like Disney and any movie studio can't get away with not having a franchise. Why do those political parties get away with not having a new candidate all the time? Like they should be developing people and have them at the ready and have them at the convention and do that Obama thing. It's like, it's pretty easy way. I'm not saying they'll all be Obama and be that popular, but at least you're setting them up to be something in the future. Anyway, sorry if that was, maybe this is why this is a weirder show. Politics, cat fights under the bed. Whatever. Austin said, "Hey Jim, what a great show. I'm likely not here. I got woken up super early. I will get woken up super early tomorrow for a driving test. A bit anxious, I know, through practice studying and being confident I can do it. Anyway, I hope you and your family are good and had a good Halloween. Anyway, my question is, what is your favorite Rennie Harlan movie, and have you ever seen the 2006 movie The Covenant? I haven't seen The Covenant. Rennie Harlan, he did The Long Kiss Goodnight? And didn't he do The Fourth? He also did Cliffhanger, which I could have almost talked about. I've seen Legend of Hercules. Forgot he did that. I don't like Die Hard 2 that much. Maybe The Long Kiss Goodnight. Didn't he do one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets? I thought he did. Now I'm looking it up, and then we'll get sorry everybody. I mean, he did Cliffhanger, and Cliffhanger is, he only produced it? I thought he directed it. What? No, IMDb. All right. He did Exodus at the beginning. He did Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger deserves on there. Did he not do Nightmare? He did Dream Master. I would either go Dream Master. Yeah, I like Nightmare on Elm Street 4, actually. Or The Long Kiss Goodnight. Those are kind of my favorite. I don't know much beyond that, and I don't think I've seen The Covenant. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen anything since... No, I saw Legend of Hercules, which I think I've only reviewed Legend of Hercules and Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I haven't done Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger is a solid movie, though. So, anyway. Suddenly there's all these hearts down here or something. What's going on? Are people shooting out hearts? What? Okay. All right, let's move on to questions in the chat. Okay. What's it? Okay. Thank you, YouTube, for making this easy. Did I write questions below? Yes, I did. Oh my god. Okay. I hope... is this a good show? I hope so. Okay. Cornbread, so you're trusting the Dark Phoenix guy to make 3 Star Wars movies. What's up with that? He doesn't even have enough swag to put a Katana Wolfman in anyone. Agree or disagree? I agree. He would not. Best candy bar, Ratboy Mickey. You know what? When I was a kid, it was Milky Way, but I think I like Snickers or Reese's Pieces. Paul Blart in Lego when? I don't know. Soon enough. Thank you, Clam. You're being cool. Eat shrimp or eat gimp? Shrimp. Have you never been much of a game person? I'm actually not. I don't like even board game. I'm just not into that stuff. I like playing Mario Kart, but it's really just sometimes with games I do really well and sometimes I do really horrible, and I have no control over which one it's going to be, and it annoys almost everyone I know because they're like, you don't care, and this succeeding annoys everyone because they do, and I don't mean to do it to be shitty. It's just, anyway, I'm just not a game person. I don't I'm not a super, I think there should be rules in society, you shouldn't murder people and steal and those things, obviously. But most of the time, if I'm chilling in my place, someone's like, here's the rules. I'm like, please shut up. I don't like to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's not be kind or something. If it's okay, the dice moves over here, I'm like, you've lost me. I'll play them with my kids, but if I'm with grown-ups and they're want to play a game, I will do it. But I'm not good with that. I don't know. The most games I'm like, what if I can watch this whole movie? Success, I won. I love this game. Nathaniel Fogo, Who would you want to make a new Star Wars trilogy? Honestly, the Scavengers Reign people. They would be the best ones. They made the best sci-fi thing. They would do the most interesting thing. That should be, if I was running Star Wars, I would say first off, live action's dumb. Let's just like if Ryan Johnson comes back, sure, but like whatever with the rest of that shit. But like, and you can make your Mando movies. Like, I get it. But like, if the Scavengers Reign people, they get to do more Scavengers Reign, and then they do a Star Wars thing, and that's the most interesting way you could do that. I just don't see. I don't think Del Toro should and will do it. And if he's not doing it, it's either them or Gandhi. It's like, I'm not really. I don't see a live action filmmaker who's not going to be like, what if it's just lit real dark? Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't want that. I want animated Star Wars is interesting. Like, Clone Wars is interesting. They're the people who do weird stuff. Get the Scavengers Reign people. That's who I want. Maybe the Life on Mars people, but I still want him animated. But good question. Black Saxonwinkle, thoughts on the next Sonic movie? I'm assuming you're talking about 3, and I'm excited. My whole family's, we're all going to go. It's like that in Moana 2 this year. Hopefully my son behaves himself. Ratboy Mickey, have you ever seen Transformers animated? I just got into the franchise. So far, animated has been my favorite series. Which one's I'm a little confused. Hold on. I will look this up because I don't want to be disrespectful or something. But it's just called Transformers Animated. It is literally called that. Okay. Sorry. I was like, what? I don't know that one super well. Although every time I look at it, I find the design a little interesting because they don't. Sometimes with Transformers design, they don't do anything interesting. I can't really say much on it, but I think the design looks cool. Nathaniel Foga, pancakes or waffles? Pancakes, obviously. When are you going to make your cats the host of this show? If they participate, I can't get them out of the room or to use the litter. So you think I can do that? Tried anything tasty in New Orleans? Nathaniel Foga. I tried praline covered bacon, and somehow I'm still alive. The Rocket Lowbacks, have your kids demanded lunch leaves from Mr. Beast and Logan Paul and Co. No. And I have not even seen them at Target. And they're not in the thing is with Lunchables, they're like not really good and kids don't like them. The actual snack things that are actually worth it is like the SpongeBob ones where it's like a few things. Like but it's like the Lunchable thing. It's like not enough for lunch, but it's too much for a snack. And I had Lunchables. I thought they were kind of cool as a kid, but I'd always be hungry later. I had them as an adult as a snack. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, I do not understand why anyone would want to be in the Lunchable space. Like, why that's like, who are considered these huge celebrities are like, I want to counter Lunchables. Like, what a bunch of fucking, what a joke. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why? Anyway, sorry. Do you think Sonic 3 will make more money than Godzilla vs. Kong, I think. Is that what you mean? Maybe. I think it has potential because that franchise is building, and it's also, that's a time where, like, I think Moana 2 will do well because I'm not just going with my family. We have people staying here over Thanksgiving, and they'll probably come too. So that's not 4 tickets, that's 5 tickets. And if you think of how many people are together on Thanksgiving, they're going to take, like, if you're at grandma's house and you got, like, 8 kids, you're taking all 8 kids, you're taking, like, a bunch of parents. You know, that's like a huge amount of people going to the theater. So I think Sonic 3 will take advantage of that also, but with Christmas, maybe not to the same degree, but I think it's possible it could end up being the highest grossing one. I think that's, the potential is there. Also, I mean, the Shadow fandom, maybe, I don't know. Cornbread said this earlier, but I'll bring it up again. Do you think the Jessica Rabbit Too Hot thing is remnant old man feelings over that being released under Touchstone at the start? No, I've heard people, the Touchstone thing at the time was totally, Disney was not a cool brand then. So it's like, you probably wanted more Touchstone than that. I think it's just getting that movie made. I think it's more just him being fucking stupid, to be honest with you. Not Paul, speaking of cats, is there a particular piece of media your pets respond to? My cat Buster liked, what's that show? Not Smiling Friends. It was like, I think I talked about it before, and now I can't remember it. Where they were like, damn it. It's not Smiling Friends. It was like, I forget what it was. They responded to it. He responded to it a lot. And then I messaged someone on the crew I knew and said, hey, my cat's really into your show. And immediately after that, he was like, what? I don't watch a show. I'm a fucking cat. And I'm like, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have him over. So, I mean, but anyway. Nathaniel, do you feel was a good what do you feel was a good thing that happened this year? New Orleans trip was fun. I saw the TV Globe came out. Some good times, stuff like that. I guess I don't know. Problem solvers. Oh, follow hard pick. Pick some. The only thing I'll say about the problem solvers. Okay, thank you for saying that. Is like the only other time they responded. I thought my cat Olive, who's since passed on. I was like watching every James Bond movie, and then she would always sit down with me, and then we were watching a show, and someone did a James Bond parody and did that down, 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 and she like ran from another side of the apartment and just hopped on my lap, like, oh, we're watching a movie, we're hanging out, and that was the only other real time. Except for when we watched Blood Sucking Freaks, she like hid in me. She was like, this is like she was scared by it. So I guess those are the only ones I can think of. Oh, thank you, Black Sea. Cornbread. Almost forgot. Sorry. When sending the reminder part of the stream, should I start specifically saying Blue Sky as well, trying to figure out what works best for you? So the thing with Twitter and Blue Sky, I can't just abandon Twitter just because of the followers and stuff. I'm kind of just, but the stream announcements will still be there and promotional stuff like new video and stuff, but it'll probably go out at the same time. So, okay, let's see. Question: are there any other subjects you may talk about soon besides movie and television, maybe music or book, or possibly? So if you so we could recommend stuff. You can always recommend stuff. I've thought about doing certain musical artists before, but I'm not really a music critic, and I did the New Mutants comics as a thing, but yeah. Oh, moms have boycotted Lunchly? Good. That shit is dumb. I think this is the last question. If I missed something, please let me know. Okay, problem solved. Okay. Oh, hello, Mo Kitch. Nathaniel Foa, you think Robert Zemeckis has seen this Chip and Dale movie? No, I don't, actually. I actually thought his interview with Mark Maron was good. I kind of wish, like, I'm glad he can creatively do what he wants, and it sounds like he's a cool person to work with. Like, he has the screenwriter collaborate with him as a director. But I do think it was interesting to hear him talk about working with Denzel, because he's like, Denzel's just always like ready to go and very intense stuff. But I think the thing that Zemeckis has lost, since we're talking about Zemeckis is a lot tonight, and I guess we're gonna wise up tonight, so or end soon. Is that his movies used to be like funny, and like that's, even I'm not a big Forrest Gump person at all. But I think that movie has like some fun to it. And I don't see that projected that. But hearing him talk about the Back to the Future making a movie of the musical, if I was a studio, I would let him do it, because it's like, I think that would do well. I never saw that musical. I hear it's like really cool, but I didn't see it. But I also think it's cool he's not making a Back to the Future 4, or he won't let a reboot happen. I think is like one of the smartest moves I've heard a director do, that and like Spielberg stopping a Jaws thing. So, but anyway, all right. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry this is a weird week. I think it's sort of hard when there's a week off and I have to sort of cover too much, and it gets a little funky. So I think next week will be a normal show. I want to emphasize this because I think you guys might not realize this is there's probably only going to be 3 shows this month and 3 shows next month, because the last week is Thanksgiving, and I just don't see me being able to do a stream that week, as well as the other week being Christmas and New Year's and all that. There's a small possibility but I doubt it. I don't think, like, if I do, I don't see, but there will be a stream next week and the week after. So come back then. I hope to have a video out tomorrow. I hope this was a good show. I think it's just everybody. It's been a weird week. But yeah. And we'll see. I am actually hoping to do some cool Thanksgiving videos this year. I've already started working on them. Thanksgiving's weird because you notice how it goes like Halloween and then it's just Christmas. And like Thanksgiving, I feel like my kids and I watch a ton of Thanksgiving specials the week of Thanksgiving. But like it used to be there'd be Thanksgiving specials like weeks before and there'd be decorations earlier. And now it feels like Thanksgiving only gets the week. And it's like, it is actually the most popular American holiday. I'm a little confused about why that is. So, man, the stream is choppy. All right, let's get out of here. Sorry. This has been a long show. Whatever. I want to thank everyone. It's okay if I'm sorry if I have to bring it up. It's got to keep the thing going. I want to thank you for the super chats from Austin, Bloxy Oxenwinkle, and Nathaniel Foga. I really appreciate that you were able to do so tonight. Thank you very much. We got the Welch's grape. I'm proud to say, you know what? I'm glad that this was the stream. That was a positive thing. I will try to be funnier next week. Let's try to keep going on. I hope it won't be that bad. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching the videos. Have a good night. I hope to see you next time, and subscribe if you would like to. See you around. Bye.